Have you ever walked into a gathering and noticed that one older man who isn't trying to be noticed, yet somehow, he is? Not the loudest voice, not the sharpest suit, but something about the way he carries himself makes people quietly turn their heads. A while back, at a small neighborhood jazz evening, I met a man named Samuel, 74. While the younger guys were busy competing for attention, Samuel sat at the corner table, sipping plain tea, tapping his foot gently to the saxophone. I overheard a woman nearby say, "He feels steady. Like he's been through 1,000 storms and come out calmer." That's when it clicked for me. True confidence doesn't announce itself. It simply exists. In a culture obsessed with youth, where attraction is sold as smooth skin and fast energy, many women over 50 are drawn to something entirely different. It's not about a tight waistline or a perfect hairline, it's about presence. Depth. The quiet gravity of a man who knows himself and doesn't need to prove it. And if you've been thinking your best days are gone, think again. Today, we're diving into why so many women find older men magnetic, and why it has almost nothing to do with looks. Let me share something I wish more men knew after 60. Confidence at this age doesn't come with flashy shirts, big gestures, or dominating a room. Real confidence now walks in without fanfare, sits comfortably in the back row, and still changes the energy of the entire space. A few summers ago, I went to a friend's garden cookout. The smell of grilled peppers filled the air, soft 80s rock was playing, and people chatted in clusters. There was one man there, Victor, 69, silver hair, plain button-down shirt, a quiet smile. He stood near the grill, calmly turning the food, greeting people as they passed. No long stories, no need to jump into every conversation. By the end of the evening, I noticed 2 different women lingering near him, laughing with ease. Later, I asked him his secret, and he just shrugged and said, "I stopped trying to impress. I started listening instead." That's the thing. When you've lived decades, seen love, loss, and rebirth, you stop chasing applause. You stop performing. You simply show up as yourself. And in a world that's constantly trying to put on a show, that authenticity is magnetic. Women over 50 can see through bravado. What they notice is steadiness, your tone of voice, your unhurried eye contact, the way you're not trying to win a moment. The calm assurance that says, "I know who I am." You don't have to convince anyone. Sometimes, your quiet is the very thing that makes you stand out. And here's something else. While quiet confidence draws someone in, wisdom is what makes them stay. There's a kind of peace in being around a man who's not only lived a lot but learned from it. Mistakes, heartbreaks, wins, losses, they've all shaped you. And that kind of wisdom can't be rushed or faked. I remember sitting on a bench in early autumn with my neighbor, Howard, 76, a retired carpenter with a sharp sense of humor. A woman in her early 50s stopped to pet his dog. Howard smiled and said, "He's loyal, doesn't talk back, and probably understands me better than most people I've met." She laughed and ended up sitting beside him for nearly an hour. He didn't tell grand stories or try to charm her, he just shared a funny memory about fixing a fence during a snowstorm. She was hooked, not by the story itself, but by the way he told it, with ease, authenticity, and warmth. That's what women are drawn to now, not flash, but depth. A man who can talk about joy and grief in the same conversation. A man who reflects before he reacts. The kind of presence that says, "I've been there," and actually means it. By the time you've crossed 60, you've likely run out of patience for games. The guessing, the drama, the pretenses, they lose their shine. And here's the irony. This clarity is exactly what makes you more appealing. I once asked a friend, Lawrence, 67, how his approach to dating had changed. He said, "I quit auditioning. I'm not pretending to love hiking when I don't. I tell them, I'll wait for you at the trail end with a picnic." That honesty works, not because it's clever, but because it's real. Mature men invite connection rather than chase it. They offer rather than push. They're upfront about what they want, and they're fine if it's not a match. That emotional openness feels like fresh air to women who are tired of mixed signals. And speaking of emotional openness, let's talk about something deeply attractive, emotional safety. It's not flashy, but it's rare. It's the peace of knowing you won't be judged for your tears, your fears, or your quirks. Henry, 72, met a woman in a pottery class. On their third coffee together, she went quiet. He didn't press her to speak. He just said, "You don't have to talk. I'm here." She later told him she hadn't felt that kind of acceptance in years. Emotional safety allows someone to breathe around you. Many women aren't searching for someone to sweep them off their feet, they're looking for someone who will simply stand steady beside them. Now, I know some older men roll their eyes at online dating, but the truth is, it can work in your favor. Maturity is rare in those spaces, and it stands out. I knew a man, Peter, 70, who swore he'd never join an app. But when he finally did, he met someone within a few months who shared his love for crossword puzzles and early morning walks. The key? He used a recent photo, wrote honestly about what he enjoyed, and approached conversations with curiosity rather than a sales pitch. And here's something worth remembering: after 50, attraction shifts. It's not your jawline or biceps that leave the deepest impression, it's how you make someone feel. Confidence, kindness, and presence outweigh youth. You don't need to look 40 to be compelling, you just need to be alive in your own skin. Let's drop another outdated myth while we're here: the idea that older men are only looking for someone to take care of them. In reality, most men I meet are looking for a partner. Not a maid, not a nurse. A partner in laughter, in stillness, in everyday life. Someone to share Sunday mornings and silent sunsets with. And here's the best part: you don't need to be perfect for that kind of love. You just need to be present. Because when you reach this stage of life, something remarkable happens: you stop rushing love. You savor it. You appreciate the quiet flame that doesn't need fireworks to be felt. You realize it's not about how many years you have left, but about how you choose to fill them. So if you've been wondering whether it's too late, let me say it simply: it's not. In fact, this might be the most beautiful time to love and be loved. Because your age doesn't make you less, it makes you ready. Ready to see, to connect, to offer the kind of presence that only comes with time. And that, my friend, is where the real magic begins. If this touched something in you, if it sparked a thought, a memory, or even a small hope, share it. Leave a comment. What's one thing you value more about yourself now than you did years ago? You may find someone feels exactly the same. And if you're ready for more conversations like this, quiet, honest, and built for this season of life, subscribe. We'd love to walk alongside you. Because you're not too late. You're exactly on time.